Welcome to the worst episode of Game Sack ever. We're going to take a look at one of my least favorite genres, first-person shooters.
Oh, lighten up, Joe. It's not that bad. And actually, two of the most recently released games are actually very good.
Oh, which ones?
Battlefield 3 and Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3.
Call of Duty Modern Welfare? Which system are they on?
Warfare, not welfare. Anyways, they've been released on pretty much everything, from the DS to the Wii. There's a PS3 version, Xbox 360, and a PC version. We're going to be talking about the PS3 versions right now because we don't own gaming PCs. And we realize that the PC one is probably the best graphically. But the PS3 one in its own right is very good.
Okay, well let's see if I can be impressed with these games.
Battlefield 3. According to reports, 5 million copies of this game were sold in the first week of release across all platforms. The single-player aspect of this game is roughly 5 hours long. A few fun parts here and there, but overall the story was pretty boring and so were most of the levels. The last fight of this game was a complete joke.
It was? What was the punchline?
The punchline is that I spent $60 on this game and I only got $20 worth of single-player action. The multiplayer aspect of this game is pretty deep. There are 4 types of soldier kits with upgradable weapons and sub-weapons and accessories through a leveling system. There are 3 game modes to choose from with an extra variation on each: Team Deathmatch, Rush, and Conquest. 6 co-op missions round out the package.
Ooh, names like Deathmatch and Conquest sound so menacing and manly. I guess when you're a boy
or a girl,
you can play the game and pretend you're a real man.
Anyway, Team Deathmatch features smaller levels with no vehicles. Conquest has larger maps with vehicles. Rush has larger maps with vehicles. Each type of gameplay is a bit different and different strategies are required to play well. Most levels have a good design and flow well.
The best part of the multiplayer mode is when an 8-year-old insults your mom. That really enhances the gameplay for me and makes it so I can't wait until the next shooty shoot game comes out, because I'll know they'll be there to tell me how much better they are, as if anyone really cares.
That's what the mute button is for, duh! Once somebody joins my room, I immediately mute them so I don't have to hear them. Graphically, it's a very good looking game and it has some good colors.
Wait, what? I thought the only colors allowed on current generation systems were brown, gray, and of course red for all the blood. Good on you, developers.
They are learning. It's nice to see that the game's environments can be manipulated. Trees fall and buildings crumble and fall. That adds a nice sense of realism.
Oh, be quiet. If this were realistic, you wouldn't auto-heal in a matter of seconds from being hit by 3 different bullets.
Man, and those seconds seem to last for hours sometimes too. Control for the most part is great. My only real problem was dialing the sensitivity of the crosshair movement. Controlling vehicles is fairly easy. I know that the helicopter is a pain to control, but once you get the hang of it, it's quite fun. Sound is outstanding with very realistic weapon and machine sound effects, all in glorious surround sound.
How's the music? Do you even remember the music?
How can I remember the music if there isn't any to remember? Music would be a distraction in a game like this. There is a ton of cussing in this game in single player and multiplayer.
Holy fucking shit! That is out fucking standing!
Get the fuck out!
Can't do fuck all of that thing! Shit! We're fucked! Fucking cut off!
Push up, goddammit! Push up!
Can't do shit! It's caught in the fucking wreck! Oh fuck! Here it comes! Keep your fucking head down!
Go join the fucking Air Force!
Shit! Holy fucking shit!
I don't mind a little bit of cussing, but it's over the top in this game and it's rather annoying after a while.
But seriously, most soldiers don't even cuss this much in real life. Okay, I've got to admit, those graphics and sounds, they were pretty good, and they're very impressive, in fact. But, you know, it seems to me like first-person shooters are a dime a dozen.
What are you talking about? They're like $720 a dozen. Well, except for that story mode in Battlefield 3. Anyways, well, let's take a look at Call of Duty Modern Warfare.
Modern Warfare? No. Let's take a look at some retro warfare. Let's look at the first-person shooter games on the Sega Genesis, the king of all game genres. Wolfenstein 3D was ported to the 32X by a guy named Chili Willy.
His parents actually named him that?
Yeah, it's on his birth certificate. Anyway, you run around shooting Nazis who are hanging out in a very large, plain-looking maze-like bunker or something, I guess. It's first-rate retro FPS action on the 32X. As long as you have some way to run the ROM, like a flash cartridge or something. It's one of the first games ever in its genre, and therefore probably the best FPS game ever.
If that's the case, I wonder why it didn't get an official release.
Because it was considered too old by the time the 32X came out. But just you wait for the 32X CD version which he's working on. You'll be able to shoot Nazis in CD quality sound with music composed just for the game by Hitler himself. Here's Doom on the 32X. As you can see, it negates the need for any FPS games on systems like the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3.
It does, Joe. It does if you refuse to let yourself enjoy a good game on a current system.
Oh yeah, and the first-person shooter greatness doesn't end there. This is zero tolerance on the Genesis, and it doesn't even need a 32X. Like the other games, you run around and shoot things. What a great concept for a game, right? Absolutely amazing. Or there's even the unreleased sequel, Beyond Zero Tolerance.
These games sure didn't age well. It has a fitting title because I have absolutely zero tolerance for this. What's next?
This is Battle Frenzy, also known as Bloodshot. Isn't this amazing, Dave?
Amazing that I'm letting you show me this crap, yes.
Well, how about Cybercop, known abroad as Corporation? You run around and shoot things. Aren't you just blown away by these amazing graphics?
I'm blowing chunks, Joe. Ugh, show me something interesting.
Does this level in Toy Story count?
Well, you're running around, but you're not shooting anything, so, no.
Alright, but here we have Duke Nukem 3D for the Genesis made by Tectoy in Brazil. This game is so incredibly amazing, although I can't get very far at all, even on the easiest difficulty.
Do you want my sympathy?
Well, everyone who plays this game deserves some kind of sympathy.
Wait, I thought you liked all of these FPS Genesis games.
Yeah, well, it's the Genesis, you know? Come on. And as you can see, if you happen to like first-person shooters, the Sega Genesis has got you covered.
Well, maybe if your eyesight is failing or you're playing without a TV or something. But I gotta say, first-person shooters have come a long way. How many units did Zero Tolerance sell on its first day, Joe? Maybe 2 million?
I'd be surprised if it even sold 25,000 over its entire lifetime. And that includes used game resales.
You're probably right. Well, let's take a look at a real bestseller, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. Modern Warfare 3. Activision announced that Modern Warfare 3 sold more than 6.5 million units in the US and UK in the first 24 hours.
That's nice. Thanks, Activision. I don't really give a crap how many or how little you sell. I'll like or dislike the game the same either way.
Fat chance on you liking it, eh?
Am I required to? Should the sales affect that opinion?
The single-player mode is about 5 hours long. A very good single-player campaign loaded with action at every moment. The story is continued from Modern Warfare 2 and has a great ending.
5 hours long? Action at every moment? A great ending? Sounds like a review the ladies leave on the internet after a date with yours truly.
I knew you were a stud. Multiplayer is pretty deep as there are lots of game modes. You can even create your own type of game mode, so that there are a lot of possibilities. The usual game modes are here: Team Deathmatch, Capture the Flag, Gun Game, One in the Chamber, and a few new ones like Kill Confirmed, where your team has to collect 65 dog tags to win.
Wow. But to be honest, I don't really care for gaming online unless I know the people I'm playing. And since I'm not very good at shooty shoot games, it becomes very frustrating as everyone else online has them mastered. It's very discouraging for me, and it makes me dislike the genre even more than I already do.
Here's a tissue.
Thanks. But, ew! I don't want to use one. What's in this?
There are 16 multiplayer maps ranging from small to medium in size. No destructible environments or buildings here, and no vehicles to take control over. Just massive amounts of killing and being killed. The sound is great with realistic weapon and aircraft sounds. You and your weapon level up here at the same time. When your weapon levels up, it gains new accessories. When you level up, you gain access to more perks, call signs, and emblems.
Holy crap, that's just like really being in the military. I remember my grandpa telling me about his level 9 M16. And when you as a person level up, you get new emblems? Who wouldn't want that? That's like a dream.
Well, you do get a trophy every now and again. One thing I do like about Modern Warfare 3 is the point streak system, which is the old kill streak system. It's called point streak now because you can get points for stuff like capturing the flag or planting a bomb in search and destroy, and not just killing. There are a bunch of point streaks to call in, such as drone attack, helicopter attack, stealth bomb raid, and stuff like that.
Is there a point streak to call in the women? Because that would be probably the greatest reward for pretty much any soldier.
Don't ask, don't tell, Joe.
Modern Warfare 3 takes up the entire screen and runs at 60 frames per second compared to Battlefield 3, which runs at 30 frames per second and is slightly letterboxed. Now, you can't really tell that Call of Duty is running at 60 frames per second on YouTube because it only runs at 30 frames per second itself. But here's a look at both of them together for a direct comparison. You know, I can understand the appeal of these games, Dave. I really can. But for me, if I play them for too long, I start to get queasy. And, you know, it's not because of the gritty violence or the realism or anything like that. I think it has something to do with the slightly unnatural way the camera moves, or I'm not sure. But for people who aren't bothered by that and who don't mind playing with a video game controller, I can understand why people like this kind of stuff.
Yeah, I understand that too.
I would hope so. But anyway, which do you like better, Battlefield 3 or Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3?
I like Modern Warfare 3 better. Now, don't get me wrong, Battlefield 3 is a great game, but it's just a little bit more slow-paced than Modern Warfare, and I like the shooty-shoot fastness of Modern Warfare 3,
Yeah.
So I'm going to say that.
Okay, well, you still like retro games, don't you?
Oh my god, yes. There's I can't go a couple days without playing a retro game.
Well, that's good to hear, and I guess we'll see you next week when we cover, well, we'll think of something.
Most likely retro.
Can I borrow this game?
So I was watching the Michael Pachter show there on Game Trailers the other week, and he was talking to some gamers about Call of Duty and even possibly Battlefield 3, and what he found out was that 5 out of 6 players go directly to play the multiplayer game and don't even mess around with the single player campaign. And to me this is very sad, because when I buy a game, I buy it mainly for the single player campaign and then go and play the multiplayer after I'm done with that. So what I'm saying is you're missing a big chunk of the game when you're just going directly to multiplayer, and I think you fools out there should go ahead and play the single player and have that experience too.
Oh my goodness, Dave, you won't believe this. They can put up to 90 minutes on a single cassette tape now. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, that is amazing, Joe.
Sounds pretty good too. Listen.
Alright, Joe, I've got to draw the line somewhere. You know, I like retro stuff a lot, but some things just need to be phased out, alright? And this is one of them. So, why don't you just try take a listen to this? Modern stuff is awesome, don't you think?